Oh good, now it's working in theory, but where's Notion? Oh no. Okay. Why is this not working? Oh, it's because... Match. Okay. I think in case that changes, I'll be able to keep on doing it. Hoo boy. This site, this program, did not want me to do this. It is so weird sometimes. Okay. Of course now I'm gonna like turn it on and immediately start like sniffling and sneezing. That's okay, no viewers yet. Okay. I'm just gonna make sure that a message posted. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So I'm gonna hop on into it, and I don't know if anyone's actually gonna be on. This is not really a great time. Oh, hey! Thank you very much to your stations. I appreciate the follow. I'm. It's been so long since I've streamed. I'm trying to pull up the chat, and for some reason, I've got a thing that says "Welcome to the chat room," but nothing in it, which I think is OBS giving me a tough time because it says 0 viewers also, which I do not think is accurate. But I'm gonna see if I can pull it up, figure out what's going on, and otherwise I'm gonna hop right into this Notion thing. More or less what I want to start goofing around with is making a little setting book, but I wanted to start talking through why I'm doing things the way that I'm doing things and all of that. I'm going to just send myself a little test message because that's how low-tech I am. And cool, cool, cool. All right. My count is not working, but my chat is, so that's something. All right. Is Notion still working? Cool. All right, so I do all of my game design work in Notion. It's become my latest obsession in terms of getting organized and getting stuff figured out and useful for me. And I am really pumped to start sharing it a little bit and start doing some more streams that like have to handle that. Notion is in theory like a database software, so it does organizational things, and you can start to do some really neat stuff with it. This is kind of like a nice little test document that I can show. Is like this is a full written up text game. It needs a lot of formatting to make it prettier and make it look better, but you can hop around and see different databases and like pull up information you might need and do all sorts of stuff. Oh, this is just my website because I'm doing my website through this now too. And like this is like my personal things. But what I kind of wanted to start doing is I'm going to start a blank new page. It is technically doing what I wanted that Radcrawl sourcebook to do, but I want to start over. You know, sometimes you just got to start over from the beginning. And this is just sample world book, because that's what I thought would be fun to work on today. If you have any questions about like what I'm doing, or if I'm going too quick for anything, just let me know. Because I'm not. I've got so little structure today. I'm just kind of goofing around for a little bit before heading to bed. Oh, I can manage my channel directly from my phone according to a notification just blared up suddenly. Cool. All right. So, what when you're making a world book like this, there's obviously a lot of different possibilities of what you might want to do. What I'm trying to do is kind of just start gathering the different things that exist already. I have this little tactics game that has like all sorts of stuff that doesn't point to anything. It's theoretically going to have like places that characters are from and relationships of different things, and right now it doesn't. So I'm going to make a place for those things to occur. I'm going to start by just making a couple databases. You know, I'm going to make a blank page, more or less, because that's going to be sort of my cover location, and so this is going to be where I store all of the data. You really don't need to do that. It's just for my own fun while I look at this sidebar. All right. And I start off making pretty much everything in table view. New database. And this is going to be, God, there's so many different possibilities of things I can start on. Let's do like a big, let's go high level first and drill down. More or less, I just want to have, oh, there's actually another way I could do this. Hold on. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Yeah, there's going to be countries. And then I'm going to make points of light. It's going to be... that isn't what I was wanting to do. Never mind. Screwed that up. Hey, how you doing, Simon? Good to see you. If there's anything, I'm kind of just building out, and hey, how you doing, Supermadol? I'm to both of you. I'm building more or less a database and like a world book for a game. I'm kind of trying to make like the structure of it ahead of time, but this is Notion, a database software that I cannot stop using for literally everything. All right. So for the data, we're not going to be viewing things from this page, so it doesn't need to be pretty, but I'm still going to do a little bit of something. I don't want things to get too all over the place. So we're going to have a new database named countries. Just going to be countries because it's a world book. Going to have a new page that is points of light. Maybe landmarks. Landmarks is what I really want to call that. I do want to call it points of light because I'm kind of going like using that 4th edition style setup of exploring the world by hopping around to different locations. I might call it something different down the road. I'm so into Notion. I'm fascinated by what people do with Notion. Me too. It's just I'm obsessed with it. It is becoming like my entire world. I'm just everything is in it. My website, including a blog and like a list of my games and podcasts, is all powered by Notion. I've got the Radcrawl Tactics. There's like a full game right here, and like things refer to each other and move around. Oh, I'm obsessed with it. This is going to be the best. This is going to be the best. And so what you can start to do... Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm so excited about Notion. Let's go back to the source book, the world book. It's so good for session notes. James Malloy has some incredible setups for session notes. I'm so jealous of his ability to do that. And we're going to have one more page that is kind of encounters, I think is what I want to call this. It's basically like, if we're thinking of it as bringing things down, you're like in the country, you're in like the bigger setting where you're doing a point crawl. You're in the points of light where you're going to like city to city or location to location. And then when you're there, you're like, I'm going to go talk to Barry because this is where he lives. Oh, James, where you got the idea from? Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. James, where I got the idea from too. And so what I'm going to do right here now as well is I'm going to make a page called characters. And here I'm going to do something a little bit funky. I'm going to make a table view, but I'm going to point it at some existing data. I want one single location that has all characters in this world. I don't know if this might end up being like a horrific way to do this, but it's how I want to start trying stuff out. Because I want these things to start to point at stuff. Because I'm just too scrolled over to the side. So these are all of the characters that already exist in Radcrawl Tactics. And so needless to say, this is messy. But now we have four different things that point to different levels of the world. And so what I can start to do now is start to do some fun stuff. Some of this stuff is James's weird medieval guys team, which I'm not going to mess with too much because I don't know where he wants to put stuff. But I can start going like, oh, these fairy creatures, they are probably from some kind of fairy country. I feel like that makes sense. I don't know what that is yet, but it is it's somewhere. So they'll be from a point of light that is like their home city. That didn't work there for some reason. Okay, relation. Points of light. Please? Maybe I need to finalize it a little bit more before I hit go. Points of light. There we go. And so this is going to basically have like citizens of this location. And so this is their hometown. Oh my god, you're kidding. I cannot put the name of the hometown in until I finish making it. Sometimes there are things with Notion. Hey, thank you very much for the follow. Never heard of Notion, but looks like a great program to organize a campaign for both player and GM facing notes. It is such a great program just for organization of anything. It definitely is not designed to do this, but it can do some really, really incredibly special things. Okay. Hometown. And I think my mouse is being weird is actually what's happening here. Oh my gosh. Citizens. Okay. Cool. So now we can start going through and going like, let's hide some of these things so I can actually see what I'm doing. I don't really need to know any of their stats or anything like that right now, or what their whole deal is. I'm more or less just trying to locate them. It's very enterprise focused, but it can be repurposed easily enough. Yeah, it can do some very cool things. And if at any point anybody has any questions, like feel free to hit me up, because the goal of this is partially to get this done and partially to start like sharing it, because I love it. I'm probably going to release all of my games through Notion as soon as I can figure out the best way to do that. These are 5 like fairy people. So I've got to make some kind of like fairy city. I feel like they probably aren't all from the exact same city. These are all like super royals. This is all from my tactics game, so these are pretty like specific weird little characters, but you know. So let's say fairy capital. One nice thing about Notion is that once the page is made, I can change the page as itself. And so basically what I'm now saying is that this character is from this city. Let's go ahead and say that a couple more of them are from the same place too. All the ones that are like super like, oh, this is like a big time noble. And I want this one to not be from the fairy capital. They're from the second fairy city. We'll define what that stuff is later. And let's do that. Let's do that for them too. Don't want to get too complicated. So now what this has done, and where this starts to get fun, is when I hop over to points of light, it has the cities here. It's got some blank lines that every single one of these databases starts out with 3 blank lines, and I cannot even begin to tell you how much time I have spent deleting 3 lines. And so now we can see that these cities now exist, and they have citizens, which is pretty cool. From here, we want these cities to be in a location. They are in countries. I'm going to add the relation. I'll rename literally all of these later. But there you go. It now exists. And now we can make fairy. That's what they call it all the time. And so now the second city is in fairy. The first city is in fairy. And we now have a nice connected web of different things. However, it would be really nice to have the characters listed, because we don't have those. So I'm going to try to get a little fancy. Let's see if I can do this. So what I'm doing here, oh, I did it. I didn't expect it to work that well. Let me go ahead and delete that and show again, because it's neat. I can make a property called a rollup. A rollup takes a relation and then pulls another piece of data. It's kind of like a VLOOKUP in Excel. So I can do rollup and then look at the relation, the points of light, and the property, citizens, and boom. All of the characters that are in any of these points of light are now listed in this bigger country. Which, like, there is a part of this that is just like, hey, isn't that neat? But that's not why we're doing this. The point of doing this is that we can start to build useful setups that let you start like really scrolling through stuff. We want this to be a usable database. I could start typing in here and make a page within here, but it will have all these ugly tags. Oh yeah, moving from tags to multiple databases is such a freaking game changer. Because it lets you start doing some pretty neat stuff. Oh, also, I think when we hop back to one of these guys, they should now have, oh, their hometown is here. The country isn't. I don't know if I care that much about the country. I'll stick it in there just for completion's sake. Their hometown is in a country, and so now fairy's listed. So each time you start adding stuff into this, it starts basically building out the world and the web that you have. Pippin is here next to me, and he's unhappy that I am talking to the computer. Celebrity guest Jeff Stormer. How do you spell Philadelphia? There we go. But basically you can start putting things together and start going like here, Bog 1, Bog 2. I don't care. I'm going to fill out all of the lore of these different things later. There's definitely going to be like This is a Condor character, so this is going to be kind of like a Cusco based city, because I've been wanting to do one of those. Did I spell that right? I'm suddenly like looking at that and like feeling I okay. Whew. Had a second that I was like, that is not how to spell that, and I felt like I was losing my mind for a minute. All right. So from here, apologies, just gotta send a text. From here, I can start doing a couple things. First off, I can hop to any of these other things, and now my points of light have multiple cities in them. I can start putting the countries that those are in. I can also start, I can make connections between cities. So like if, like let's say I've got a magical train, I can also make that a relation as well and have it point also to points of light. We want it to be the same property. Ooh, no, okay. And so we can say like, oh, there is a train from second city of Fairy to first city of Fairy, and that's there. That's cool. And there is a portal from. There's also points of light. Different styles of travel is something that I'm goofing around with my current setting. Let's say from the Cusco-based city to the fairy capital, just to start making connections. Now, what I can do is I can start making content pages, because this is all of our data. Eventually, I'm gonna try to hide this away to make it less right there. But I can start making some pages that have more of an interesting view. So let's say like the lands of Fairy. I can do as much typing as I want up here. Description of the place. I can use callouts to make things pretty. But the really cool thing I can do is put a view in that lets me start like looking at what's going on here. I like a gallery view. So here I've got. Why did I do it like that? Come on, I told you I wanted a gallery. So this is all of the points of light that exist, which is not what I'm looking for. I can hide this. Oh, didn't know about callouts. There's some callouts make the thing look so nice. You can do a similar thing by clicking on your egg carton. It's like a hamburger but sideways, and do this. And you can actually make that look pretty nice. Like I feel like this looks okay. These links look different from these links, which I don't love, but like you can learn how to connect things and make it look gorgeous. But this has all of the cities. That's no good. That's not what we want. So we can put on a filter that the country has to be fairy. And now we have just these two little things. We want to save it for everybody. And now we can choose what properties go in here. Oh look, our citizens are listed here. We can go ahead and go into here and say that these should each have a pitch. It just gives us like, the second city that is more second than the first. Lore comes second. All right. Now we can add the pitch, stick it above the citizens, And now we've got like an attractive little thing here that shows us what these things are. We can bring our card size down, or more likely up. We probably want it to be pretty visible. We can hop into here. I'm glad it's tomorrow. I've seen different ways to do stuff in Notion. I think I'm going to fiddle with it some more. Yes, please do. There's really cool things you can do. I don't know what this is. The basketball city apparently, because I hit random and it did that. But you can start having some fun. Unsplash has like an enormous gallery of just things, and almost all of it is licensed and free to use for pretty much anything. But it's at least fine for your own personal projects. And now we can. Oh, they're not in properties. Set card preview to page cover. And now we've got this gorgeous page that has all of this information. Starts letting us bring through it. Yep, it's a house. Not gonna use that one. Yep, it's a much more modern city than I actually would want. But now you can start having things where this page is showing us the points of light within this location. So if you're playing the game and you're trying to decide where to put something, you can go quickly to here. Additionally, once you're in here, theoretically, you'd also have... Oh, I didn't make a relation to it. Beginning is just a lot of relations. Encounters. So here, you could make encounters of like the different things that happen in this city. This is where the wild hunt encounter occurs. And in the wild hunt, this is a great place to actually make it within the card and not have a second viewing space. Because like for here, like, you can have a little description and like just have like a description. Maybe put in a... Oh. Come on. Put in like an encounter table. You can even do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is not well documented, but you can put a table within a call out. And so like this could be your city encounter table. And you could also have like a separate call out. It's getting mad at me because I'm putting call outs right next to each other, which is bad form. And then if you are traveling by train, maybe you want a separate train encounter table. And so you've just got these right here. They're already available to you. So what I'm starting to do is basically start to make... You can make templates so that every time you load one in... I'm going to make a template later because it's more detailed than I'm looking to do right now because I'm just on the sleepy side. But now in this place you've got like, hey, if I'm coming here, I have a train encounter, and then I hop to the ferry capital, and then I'd have a separate train encounter here maybe, see what's going on, combine stuff. And you can basically just start traveling around the world. You could do like a significantly linked point crawl within these different locations, which is really fun. From here also, we might want to have points of light. That's very cool, but we probably also want to be able to see what players are in here. We can do the same thing. We're looking for not giving me gallery. We'll start with a table. We'll switch to gallery. I love gallery. Gallery views so gorgeous. For this, we probably don't want them to be big. And we want to filter that it is oh, okay. I never renamed this from property. And now here we go. We've got our 5 characters that exist in the Lands of Fairy. We've got our 2 different locations here. And what we can start to do, let's actually go ahead and make a 3rd fairy city just in order to create a template. So this is a point of light template. We want it to have brief bit of lore. I'll probably, later on, I'm going to basically just open UVG and see what's in Ultraviolet Grasslands, because that is such a well put together thing. I don't know if I want to call this encounters. You can use headings and all that. I think I tend not to use heading 1 when I'm like within a page. But everything is certainly going to have encounter tables. Everything's going to have things like that. So we can put up a call out. And just like we were doing. Maybe travel tables is useful also. Yeah, let's not get obsessive. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now, what is cool about this? Okay, you spend a okay. All right, cool. And now we can hit point of light, and boom, we've got some bits of information here. I didn't save it as anything because it doesn't matter. But basically that is the start of this, so that then you now have in your world book, you start making these pre-created pages, because these pages you want them to be more customized in all likelihood, just because this is like, in some ways this is your splat book within a splat book, you know? Like, does it make sense to have all of your NPCs listed? Maybe. Is there a possibility that you might want to link to different things other than this? Probably. And because apart from this, you're basically just filling stuff in. Here we're putting a description, and we can link to things and just go like, hey, here's a link to a character within a description. And then when we go here, we've got everything that we need about her. It takes a little bit of setup, but it ends up being these like really, really nice things that you can start to go through. I think if this was full of lore and not full of filler, you'd be able to hop into here and start GMing, which I think is maybe what Notion does better than a PDF. Is a PDF requires you to check things out ahead of time and read it first. A book requires you to check things out ahead of time, read it first. And with this, you can really just go like, hey, this is where we are. What encounters are here? What simple things are happening here? And start building. I don't know if encounters is the right thing. For my own purposes, because this is all like based on silly uh, gladiatorial arena stuff and my little pommel ball game. One of the things I'm going to be doing is just having like the courts that are involved. Yeah, I need to dive into this setup. I kind of jumped from Google Docs to Notion, and aside from the database views, I haven't delved too deeply. That is the same. That's right where I was too. I was using Google, and Google was doing some pretty nice things for me in terms of storage, but it just didn't let me. It didn't make the connections. Like this is it is as at least as useful as a wiki, right? Um, but then you can also start doing some of the more sophisticated stuff with it. Hold on, my phone went to do not disturb, and I want to not have that be the case because I got to pay a little bit of attention to it. Do you have any questions about like functions of Notion that I might be able to take a look at? Because if so, I'd be happy to show them off. If there's anything that you're curious about how it can be done. Otherwise, I'll just keep on fiddling with things. Let's see. I wonder. Okay. Here is. Okay. Here's it. I'm very much in the I don't know what I don't know phase right now. I totally hear that. Until like a couple weeks ago, I was in the exact same place. So here's another neat little trick. Using roll-ups and using relations. That is just gonna additionally like blow open the possibilities of playing this live from the Notion. Your characters are in Fairy. They're like, hey, we got to get the heck out of here. Oh, this actually won't work from here. This is because this is the country. You don't leave from a country, you leave from a point of flight. Well, they're here. They're like, let's get the hell out of here. This place sucks. If I was doing this the right way, I would actually be putting this in the template. Because theoretically everything should have this. You can make a view. Let's make it a gallery because I love galleries. This is for other points of light. We're going to do a new empty view. Traveling by train. What's going on? Why are you doing this? Notion. Making this harder than it has to be. Okay. What we're going to filter by is by train route. And so we're looking for a route that contains this place, the Fairy Second City. And so this is like the worst possible view for it. So if you're here, we probably want these to be small. If you're here and you're like, hey, we just pissed people off, gonna hop on a train, we can go to the fairy capital. Alternately, so this is by train. This is so good for a point crawl. I love it. For this one, we don't want a train route. We want by portal. Fairy Second City. Oh, bad news, guys. You can't go anywhere by portal from here. But like everything in Notion, we're building live. So if we have a new city we want to add in, we can do this and just start a new city right from here. They hop on a train to who knows where, and then now we've got a city there, and we can pull up our template and have all of this automatically fill in. Beautiful. Dang, we're still chasing the hollow. One day we'll catch it. Yes, someday. Actually, you know what? Chase the Hollow has a character in this, because we gotta have those crossover characters. Here he is. Here it is. And so, like, you can start, once you start to, like, get a hang of it, you can start moving really quick. And, like, it could be that we're like, oh, hey, the Hollow's probably from Fae. That might make sense. I'm gonna do it. Why not? They're from Fae. They're not from one of the two pretty cities that exist. They're from, like, scary Fae place. One of their citizens is the Hollow. It is in Fairy. You can get to Fairy Capital, Fairy Special, Second City, and why not Philadelphia? And you can take a portal. probably you could take a portal to Philadelphia. You can go to the bog from the portals, but they've cut off portal access to the fairy places. And then there you go. Boom. Now we go back, whoops, to the lands of fairy, and the scary fairy place is here. You can even start doing stuff that's like really silly, like putting like a line of just like dashes as one of the views, and you just stick it in the template, and you can start to like organize this and make it a little bit prettier. Oh, is this a different game? The mobile notification said this was a Chase the Hollow design stream. Oh, did it? Man, I am so bad at using Twitch. Like, I checked everything like 3 times in OBS, and it was like, definitely this is gonna say messing around with Notion and making it nice. Now, unfortunately, this is not a Chase the Hollow stream. Chase the Hollow is on my roadmap. My roadmap is very sad looking right now. It is. I've started to like track out what my plans are going forward with stuff. This is for non-contract work. That I'm going to be trying to get the Rad Crawl Quick Start to a really solid place. Then after that, Notion integration, which is just making all of this available and set up in Notion so that you can any game that you have from me that is like a non-contract game, I want it to be playable out of the Notion. And then continuing to clean stuff up and continuing to build all of this together. But what's really fun, for me at least, is remember that I connected these players. This is like the core player setup from Radcrawl Tactics. You'll notice I'm in Radcrawl Tactics, not in my sample world book. From here, I can now go into one of these characters that we gave all this information to and immediately start accessing. Immediately hop over to their hometown. And now I'm over in that other thing that we just built. All of this infrastructure can work together and surrounding it. Let me take a look at my... I don't want to share personal information in like a not good way, but I think that there's nothing on my personal productivity Notion that's not good for me to share right now. Okay. Yes, this is good as long as I don't scroll too far ahead. So like this is, for example, my home screen. It has like I set up my exercise, my like movement goals for the day. It sets up all of my boards. And basically you can have everything in here and everything reference everything else. This is all this was all done by hand. So, like, I don't know my way around this super well yet, but it's not too hard to start doing it. Um, James made a much better version of the Gladiator in Notion, but I haven't stolen that version yet. I don't think. No, I didn't. I don't want to just go into. No, okay. I don't want to go too much into his stuff. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of like that's the starting point. This is how you start to make a world book. From here, you'd want to go like, oh, one of the things you can do is you can make these widescreen. This makes it look more like a index. I tend to prefer not widescreen for it. The Notion vibe is something I enjoy. Um, but from there, you kind of just start filling stuff in, and uh, you can start having a lot of fun with it and start really doing stuff. Train routes is not something you'd want to show. Yeah, that's not gonna look good. But having like your encounters might be, because now we're in this city and we can go like, oh, we can do this wild hunt encounter, whatever that is. This has a pommel ball court. Technically, things can get a little funky because like we made this pommel ball court here, but we could also add that to like a different location. Uh, which in this case, that's not good. Like we wouldn't want that to be in this, because this theoretically has like identifying features of this location and rules and stuff. But you could have like a specific if there's something that branches them, like if there's like the super magic bridge is an encounter. The super magic bridge could connect to a second point of light. Uh, and now, when we go over to Bog 2, it also has the super magic bridge. I need to do some templating. Because that's what's going to make this really, really neat. From here also, you can start, let's see. What am I doing? All right. There's things that you can set up things other than galleries, but I am obsessed with galleries. I think galleries are so pretty. This is our adventure log. We don't need a name for it. So this is like 5/22/2022. We can basically come in here and start going like, which let's see, relation. What did I name that? Players? Yeah, players. Showing players. I have made my players such a mess now, but I'll go back and fix it. You like the look and eventually want people to be able to browse through it. Gallery view makes sense for that. Yeah, totally. But it's like for an adventure log, let's say you could, for your own home game, more likely than anything else, you can say like, hey, this is our party members. because we have a big thing that lists all of our characters. Every character that's in your game is in your game world is here. And so like there's PC1, PC2, PC3. You can add a relation for where it took place. And this one took place in that second city. And then let's put a date on it. Why do you have a created date? I don't need that. Yeah. I hope I didn't just screw something up somewhere else. But this adventure went down this day. So actually we can take this out. This was the bog over Second City, whatever. And so this could also have like a nicely templated setup, or it could just be, we met with Volzenia. She told us to go kill Tito. Coach Hammersword got a new item. I don't have an item made, I don't think. I guess I technically do, but I don't know the names of any of them right now. And from here you've got like a running adventure log that you've got the changes that went on, and you can then click into like, hey, here's this person. She was involved with, where is it? Yep, adventures. Oh, why is this not showing here? Oh, because she didn't go on that adventure. I screwed up. Whoop. I need to get better about setting stuff up so that it's oh, but you know what you can do here? You can show, where is it? You can show backlinks. And anywhere that it is linked, you've got the opportunity to hop back to. You can also customize that to not have the backlinks, or to show it in popover. Just that you've got the two backlinks, you click it, and then you can see where it's referenced. So you can have like these like really nicely indexed setups with relatively little difficulty, relatively little work. The making of the lore is really where things get stickier. But you can even set up like character sheets in this. Like I know that this is a lot of additional information, more than you probably would want to have, but like you can have like a property for equipment and click into the equipment, see exactly what that does. It's so cool. It's the best, and I love it. And of course, all of these don't need to look ugly. They can be decorated. They can have little emojis. They can have, you can pull up your own images also. I'm gonna put a picture of a frog here. And suddenly this gallery, oh, this is pointing to page content, not page cover. No froggy? No froggy for some reason. How weird. Ah, there it is. And you can start like building out these useful things. This is the thing I'm kind of excited about for this is just that that think of how good this would be for like a shared group game, a West Marches style thing. I'm definitely going to be doing that because one other thing you can do is like you can link to other databases, right? Like we were saying. So this whole thing that's like the adventure log, that's like our own personal changes to stuff, it doesn't need to be in the world book. We can have a separate thing that points to the world book. Direct ownership of it is like a little funky. Like, is there a possibility that like if someone else was pointing to their Surmuck route, it ends up in my Surmuck route, and who knows how that changes? I don't know. That would be a little funky, but like, is it a bad thing necessarily? I'm not. This is not going to be a game that has thousands of players. This is probably a game that's going to have dozens of players. And so if we can open up a thing and see, like, these 12 people interacted at some point with this NPC, that's actually really freaking neat. Like, that's really fun. Yeah, right? I think that would work well, that you've got, like, your own thing in here. But yeah, so that's kind of where my mind is right now in terms of like a source book is something I want to start fiddling with, just because I've got the borders of lore, but I don't have the actual lore yet. And then I can start doing fun stuff, like having character relations to each other and having items that are important to things and all sorts of different things. And I should also finish Can't Handle the Heat at some point, because this game came together in like half a day. All right. I should probably be calling it a night. It's getting pretty late. But if there's any little questions I can answer before I call it, give me a shout, and I happily will. I just figure I'm kind of at a good stopping point, just because I've got the overall things I want to have. I'll probably have a page for like important objects, which is just a view of my items. Well, actually, I don't know that I want to set this up, because I don't know what's gonna own this. Figuring out what owns different things is always funky. Oh, but you can also, oh my gosh, wait, one last thing that I should show. Synced blocks. Okay. Thanks for the run. Absolutely, more than happy to. My questions will probably come tomorrow when I overhaul and start sorting stuff. Please feel free to hit me up. Here's another thing I just want to show real quick. You can have synced blocks that show up in multiple locations. So if so this is a move that affects all of, so let's say, oh no, jeez, that was not the best. Let's say we have, I don't know what the best usage for this is actually. All train encounters. So let's say, like, because of some event, all train, like, we've got like all train encounters have some kind of a thing that we want to always be there. Use this NPC, use this move, whatever. We can make a synced block, and then we can start going to places, and we say, like, okay, I know that this place has a train. So I'm gonna go ahead and just toss this synced block in here. Paste and sync. This also has a train. So we're going to paste and sync. And this also has a train, so we're going to paste and sync. Templating with synced blocks is even cooler. Well, turns out don't use this NPC anymore because they died in that bog over Second City adventure. So now we're here, we're in the scary Fey place, and where we wrote this note down. When we come over to here, it is also updated. When we come over to here, it is also updated. And now we can go, oh, use an NPC. They were resurrected. Now, come back here, and it's updated. You can use this for like some really nice like indexes. You can use it for information that has to be in multiple places. But really just the coolest thing about it is just that it just updates automatically, and you can put as much stuff as you want into a synced block. You could theoretically put this entire thing inside of a synced block and then put that synced block into the overall country space. Hey Dev, how you doing? Unfortunately, I'm right about to log off. I'm just doing some goofing around with showing how you can use Notion to start making like a source book and have things located inside of things. I'll show you what kind of came out of it at the end. We've got this page that's like the lands of fairy, and within them you can go to a city and have like encounter tables. From there you can see where you can go by train to different locations. You can see the NPCs that are in those locations, and like doing great, all good. I was just about to log off too, but I saw your name as closing browser tabs. Thank you. Well, thank you very much for logging on. I appreciate that. And there'll be more of this. I want to do like some. This was very loose. This was me kind of figuring out if I could talk about Notion while messing around with it at the same time. But Notion is gold, and I think the RPG space could gain a lot by it. So I want to start helping to share that resource around. But yeah, if you end up with any questions about Notion, feel free to give me a shout. I'm gonna go ahead actually right now, and anybody with this can edit, and I'll go ahead and bring this over to you all. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. And hope you all have a good one. Feel free to hop in there and goof around with it if you would like to. You can change stuff. I don't care at all. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Stay safe.